Colin Powell was born in Harlem, New York City, on January 6, 1937. Powell attended the City College of New York and then the United States Military Academy at West Point, where he was a distinguished cadet and a member of the Corps of Cadets Honor Society. He served in the United States Army from 1958 to 1968, achieving the rank of lieutenant colonel. Powell then attended the National War College, where he received his commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Army Reserve. In 1969, Powell was appointed as the Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs. In this capacity, he played a leading role in the United States response to the crisis in Rhodesia, and he also helped to organize the United Nations Emergency Force in Lebanon. In 1975, Powell was appointed as the Assistant Secretary of State for International Organizations and Human Rights. In 1977, Powell was nominated by President Jimmy Carter to be the Assistant Secretary of State for International Security and Cooperation. In this capacity, Powell played a leading role in the United States' response to the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan, and he also helped to organize the United Nations International Conference on Human Settlements.
Colin Powell was a U.S. general and statesman. He was chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff 1989–93 and Secretary of State 2001–05. Powell was the first African American to hold either position. In each moment the fire rages, it will burn away 100 veils and carry you 1,000 steps toward your goal. The son of Jamaican immigrants, Powell grew up in the Harlem and South Bronx sections of New York City and attended the City College of New York B.S. 1958, serving in the Reserve Officers Training Corps ROTC. He entered the Army upon graduation, served in Vietnam in 1962–63 and 1968–69, and then studied at George Washington University in Washington, D.C. In 1972 he took his first political position, as a White House Fellow, and soon became an assistant to Frank Carlucci, then Deputy Director of the Office of Management and Budget (OMB). He held various posts over the next few years, in the Pentagon and elsewhere, and in 1983 became Senior Military Assistant to Secretary of Defense Caspar Weinberger. In 1987 he joined the staff of the National Security Council as Deputy to Carlucci, then Assistant to the President for National Security Affairs. Late in 1987 Pres. Ronald Reagan appointed Powell to succeed Carlucci. Early in 1989 Powell took over the Army Forces Command. Colin Powell. 1. It ain't as bad as you think. It will look better in the morning. 2. Get mad, then get over it. 3. Avoid having your ego so close to your position that when your position falls, your ego goes with it. 4. It can be done. 5. Be careful what you choose. You may get it. 6. Don't let adverse facts stand in the way of a good decision. 7. You can't make someone else's choices. You shouldn't let someone else make yours. 8. Check small things. 9. Share credit. 10. Remain calm. Be kind. Colin Powell. Leadership is all about people. It is not about organizations. It is not about plans. It is not about strategies. It is all about people motivating people to get the job done. You have to be people-centered. A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination and hard work. None of us can change our yesterdays, but all of us can change our tomorrows. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has A right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. Pissing people off doesn't mean you're doing the right things, but doing the right things will almost inevitably piss people off. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception, it is a prevailing attitude. When we are debating an issue, loyalty means giving me your honest opinion, whether you think I'll like it or not. Disagreement, at this state, stimulates me. But once a decision is made, the debate ends. From that point on, loyalty means executing the decision as if it were your own. Good leaders set vision, missions, and goals. Great leaders inspire every follower at every level to internalize their purpose, and to understand that their purpose goes far beyond the mere details of their job. When everyone is united in purpose, a positive purpose that serves not only the organization but also, hopefully, the world beyond it, you have a winning team. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. Don't just show kindness in passing or to be courteous. Show it in depth, show it with passion, and expect nothing in return. Kindness is not just about being nice, it's about recognizing another human being who deserves care and respect. The most important thing I learned is that soldiers watch what their leaders do. You can give them classes and lecture them forever, but it is your personal example they will follow. We have to start thinking of America as a family. We have to stop screeching at each other, stop hurting each other, and instead start caring for, sacrificing for and sharing with each other. We cannot move forward if cynics and critics swoop down and pick apart anything that goes wrong, to a point where we lose sight of what is right, decent and uniquely good about America. Always show more kindness than seems necessary, because the person receiving it needs it more than you will ever know. Always do your best. Somebody is watching you. Every organization needs to be introspective, transparent, and honest with itself. This only works if everyone is unified on the goals and purposes of the organization and there is trust within the team. High-performing, successful organizations build cultures of introspection and trust and never lose sight of their purpose. Effective leaders are made, not born. They learn from trial and error, and from experience. Organization doesn't really accomplish anything. Plans don't accomplish anything, either. Theories of management don't much matter. Endeavors succeed or fail because of the people involved. Only by attracting the best people will you accomplish great deeds. Trying to get everyone to like you is a sign of mediocrity. The freedom to do your best means nothing unless you are willing to do your best. As a leader, you set the tone for your entire team. Communicate your vision. You can never err by treating everyone in the building with respect, thoughtfulness, and a kind word. Every one of our employees is an essential employee. Every one of them wants to be viewed that way. And if you treat them that way, they will view you that way. They will not let you down or let you fail. They will accomplish whatever you have put in front of them. Respect for leaders by followers can't be mandated, it must be earned. It has to be given to leaders by their followers. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. Don't let your ego get too close to your position, so that if your position gets shot down, your ego doesn't go with it. Over the years, the United States has sent many of its fine young men and women into great peril to fight for freedom beyond our borders. The only amount of land we have ever asked for in return is enough to bury those that did not return. All children need a laptop. Not a computer, but a human laptop. Moms, dads, grannies and grandpas, aunts, uncles, someone to hold them, read to them, teach them. Loved ones who will embrace them and pass on the experience, rituals and knowledge of 100 previous generations. Loved ones who will pass to the next generation their expectations of them, their hopes, and their dreams. Whenever you start, give it your best. The opportunities are there to be anything you want to be. But wanting to be someone isn't enough, dreaming about it isn't enough, thinking about it isn't enough. You've got to study for it, work for it, fight for it with all your heart and soul, because nobody is going to hand it to you. Being responsible sometimes means pissing people off. Always be looking for the opportunities, and always be optimistic about what you can do with that opportunity. Each of us must work to become a hard-headed realist, or else we risk wasting our time and energy on pursuing impossible dreams. Yet constant naysayers pursue no less impossible dreams. Their fear and cynicism move nothing forward. They kill progress. How many cynics built empires, great cities, or powerful corporations? Let me just be candid. My party is full of racists. And the real reason a considerable portion of my party wants President Obama out of the White House has nothing to do with the content of his character, nothing to do with his competence as commander-in-chief and president, and everything to do with the color of his skin. And that's despicable. Leaders honor their core values, but they are flexible in how they execute them. In the military, we are always looking for ways to leverage up our forces. Having greater communications and command and control over your forces than your enemy has over his is a force multiplier. Having greater logistics capability than the enemy is a force multiplier. Having better trained commanders is a force multiplier. Perpetual optimism, believing in yourself, believing in your purpose, believing you will prevail, and demonstrating passion and confidence is a force multiplier. If you believe and have prepared your followers, the followers will believe. The United States presents a value system to the world that is based on democracy, based on economic freedom, based on individual rights for men and women. I think that is what makes us such a draw for nations around the world. People come to the United States to be educated, to become Americans. We are a country of countries and we touch every country, and every country in world touches us. Everybody makes bad decisions. I am sure I have made my share of them over 40 years of service. Or I have made good decisions and have been overruled. The real challenge, when you are overruled, is to remember who the boss is and don't take it personally.